Super Callow, what up, man? How's everybody doing? Jabari, what up? Kev, what up? Mateo, what up? Yes, I did get that email. Thanks, Jabari. Happy Sunday, Banky. Just started up the Twitter Spaces. Welcome everybody in Twitter Spaces. Val, thank you. I appreciate it. Bitcoin, 62,000. Let me start the Skype up. Well, before I start the Skype up, I have on the screen Mayor Pete. That's what this is on paradise.ng. I don't know what this website. Mayor Pete reassures everyone supply chain disruption will continue, and that's a good thing. That's what he said. I'm going to play this straight from, the Charlie November News Network. Let's see what's happening here.
Well, certainly a lot of the challenges that we've been experiencing this year will continue into next year, but there are both short-term and long-term steps that we can take to do something about it. Look, part of what's happening isn't just the supply side, it's the demand side. Demand is off the charts. Retail sales are through the roof. And if you think about those images of ships, for example, waiting at anchor on the West Coast, every one of those ships is full of record amounts of goods that Americans are buying because demand is up, because income is up, because the president has successfully guided this economy out of the teeth of a terrifying recession.
Do y'all hear that, man? Jesus. Now, the new father, Mayor Pete, just had 2 twins. Clap it up for him. I got to get myself a soundboard. I got to talk to me. Because I'd be hitting the soundboard. I need a soundboard for my show. I would clap it up on that. Let's clap it up for Mayor Pete, newly father of twins. He had to take leave, family leave, because the birth. Well, not necessarily his birth, but, new father, maternity leave, etc., etc. So he has 2 twins. But saying, income is higher, so people are buying more. When gas is higher, everything else is higher. The meat you buy is higher. Some people might be getting more money, but that's just going to be taken off in various other things. Is he serious with this right now? Me So Hungry says poor babies. They went and purchased some kids. Louis X says, I'm not clapping for people that went and purchased some kids. I guess he did, because he certainly didn't. He didn't adopt, did he? Like he went and got somebody to I guess it is purchasing. God damn, they buying people. They buying kids. Paternity leave. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. This guy's just a piece of work, man. Another thing I wanted to cover. This is Reddit. You know, there's a Reddit called Herman Cain Award, right? And let me put it here. Now they post stories of anti-vacationers dying of the stupid 19, scaring fence sitters into getting the shot. This is on CSNBC. A Reddit channel called H.R. Herman Cain Award is filled with stories of people who mocked stupid 19 vaccines before eventually dying from disease. It's expanded to 375,000 members. Now, this Sarah Ostrowski was convinced to finally get the vacation after reading numerous stories on Reddit's H. Herman Cain Award. Now, they're trying to flip it like the whole sole purpose of this subreddit is to convince people on the fence to finally get it. You know, they see all these people dying and, oh, well, I'm going to get it. No, that's not the purpose of this subreddit. The purpose of this subreddit is for these people to post these awards so they can laugh at people dying. That's it. So they can feel better about themselves. So they can feel like they made the right choice. And I'm not going to read any more about this, this article. Y'all can read it for yourselves, but this is ridiculous, man. I also mentioned, let me read this part. Reddit still has plenty of anti-vacation content across its site, which reaches over 50 million daily active users. It recently took steps to remove several subreddits that were being used to share misinformation. But numerous subreddits are still surfacing each content with the names like R Conservative, R Ivermectin, and Fauci for Prison. Now, I do go to Reddit, and there's, I forget the name of it, it's one of the, I think it's the Moderna, the M1, right? And they talk about their, after they get the punch and how they feel and how to what their side effects and stuff like that, and how long they last, and some scary stuff in there, man. But I wanted to show this. Did the fat shaming subs have the same success? So if you're gonna vacation sub, vacation sham people into getting it, like, is it allowed to have fat shaming subs? Of course not. It's body fat positivity and stuff like that. Logan donates, says Brian Laundrie did nothing wrong. Who's Brian Laundrie? Laundrie? Once again, anybody wants to come in on the spaces, or I'm gonna start my. That's the dude that is alleged to took out Gabby, right? Modelo. Okay, the Modelo. The Jackson and Jackson, the miser. Okay. I got it. So for the companies, it's Modelo, Jackson and Jackson, and Miser. I couldn't think of a good M name. I don't know. Let me start the Skype. The missing suspect. But thanks for the donation. Skype is open if anybody wants to call in. What else I wanted to talk about? They're putting guns on these robot dogs, man. People in the spaces, I'm showing an image of y'all seen the image of they got these robot dogs and they're putting guns on top of them, man. Is Skynet here? It's dubbed the Spur, or Special Purpose Unmanned Rifle. It's designed to fit onto a variety of robotic platforms. It has a 30 times optical zoom, thermal camera for targeting in the dark, and an effective range of 1,200 meters. Damn, they really gonna knock niggas in the head, man. It's like we're on the verge of, Terminator, the Terminator future, the machines and stuff like that. I think they still have a ways to go, but we're starting to see the next war. I think the next confrontation will be a lot of robotics. It's gonna who can use effectively between man and machine. It's which side that can use effectively. They can use, the drones, these robots, and which uses them effectively, like cost effectively, and can manufacture them fast enough. That's going to be a side of that's going to be the winner, I think. Drone wars. You got it right about that. Also, article. U.S. prepared to restart Trump's Remain in Mexico policy in November. Now, I thought there was a tweet about Biden restarting that. Like he didn't, like he shamed Trump for having this policy. But a judge had to reinstate it, I think. Supreme Court in August upheld a lower court's decision ordering the administration to re-implement the policy formerly called the Migrant Protection Protocols, the MPP, which requires asylum seekers at the southern border to wait in Mexico while their claims are processed in the U.S. courts. Now, Biden can't restart the program without the consent of the Mexican government. DHS said it is in communication with Mexican officials to address when and how the program will be implemented. Wow. I'm going to say this, man. I'm really mad at these Biden voters, man. This guy is a cluster, and just a shine, Anyway, Hotep and Build sweatshirts. Go get them while they're hot. Let me take this off. Get kind of hot in here. It's hot in here. But this Biden, man, this guy is just a piece of work, man. This guy is the worst president of all time, man. He's worse than Obama, man. Like, Obama looks like great compared to this guy. Right? Am I right or wrong? This guy is such a clown. And he's not even coherent. These policies that that are going into effect is like, they're really selling us down the river, man. Now we're worried about what's going to happen this winter. Can we be able to pay for heat? The heat price is going to be up. Somebody told me 50%. I'm like, what? Juice 3 the Titan. The predictive programming is in. Battlefield 2042, which releases next month, has robot dogs in the game that you can deploy. No shine left behind. Thanks for the donation. Once again, Skype is open. Spaces is open. Anybody want to talk about anything on Spaces, just hit the request. I'm going to share it out again. But he's such a joke, man. Hillway, Raheem Biden, definitely the worst. Definitely. He's definitely worse. What else is going on? But, and like also on the supply chain, they're saying if as long as people are still unpunched, then the supply chain woes will continue. T-Map has requested on Spaces. Tired of me running my mouth. Let me add him as a speaker. T-Map, you can unmute yourself whenever you like. You there? Anyway, even help. Listen. Supply chain woes hit school cafeterias. Yo,
what's up, Uncle Hotep?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
All right, chilling. Happy Sunday, and what's going on? What's on your mind?
Nothing, man. Happy Sunday. I'm just tuning in.
Okay. You got anything on your mind? What issue do you have with this week? What do you want the people to know you might have issue with, or you just want people to hear about?
Well, just the lack of supply, like you said. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, they're saying that maybe we might not have food anymore. We might have to stock up on feed corn, maybe.
Now, are you concerned about that? Like, are you concerned about you might take a run out and stock up on supplies? Or do you think, certain items are just not going to be able to be found?
Well, actually, I'm a bit worried. I went to a Tractor Supply a few days ago, and I stocked up on a bunch of feed corn, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you a farmer or something, or what are you going to use the feed corn? What do you use the feed corn for?
I'm going to use it to survive.
Oh, okay. Oh, you on the grind? You about on your grizzly? I got a big 100-pound bag of rice. You know what I mean? I went the rice route. I still got it. This is when the scamdemic first started. I bought 2, I think they're 50 or 100-pound bags of rice. I bought them from BJ's or some shit like that, right? And then I started using one, and I'm halfway down. I'm like a quarter of the way down. One's almost done. I still got one I haven't even opened yet. So I'm good on rice. I can survive. We can survive. You know what I mean? But I didn't buy anything else really. I'm wondering, should I get some Spam or something?
Yeah, I mean Spam. I mean, I think that would be a good idea too. Honestly.
Yeah.
How long did the 100-pound bag of rice last you so far?
It's been a year, I guess. It's been over a year. I don't cook. I might cook rice once a week. Like
that's still a good ration. Wow.
Yeah, I might cook it like once a week. Either I cook it with like steak or something or chicken, and then I cook enough so I can have leftovers, and then I use the leftovers for some fried rice. You know what I'm saying? Because you want the rice to be like a couple days old in the refrigerator to make best fried rice. But I would say about making rice about once a week or so, maybe twice. it's lasted over a year, and I still have some more left.
And that's only the one bag of 100 pounds.
Yeah, that's only the one bag. If I can eat, if I was eating to survive, um, it would last. I would say that would last about, I don't know, maybe 6 months if I ate it more frequently. So maybe I think if you get, I might have to get another bag. If they're talking about what they're talking about is going to be a hard winter. I got enough for winter. I don't think I'm gonna sweat it, but I'm gonna get some other items though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They're saying prepare for the worst. So I don't know, man. It's been a crazy year. So who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe we might go to war with China.
Yeah, maybe the whole place. Don't. No, I hope not. Yeah, I got an article up on the screen, and this is a school in Washington, Oklahoma. Turkey for tacos, chicken products, orange juice, and meal trays. Just a few of the items that Shania Hall, director of the school nutrition service for Oklahoma City Public Schools, says she can't find. They can't find food for the kids.
Yeah, no, I saw that. This is a few places that they're having the parents prepare lunches for the kids, saying that the food cafeterias are done.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't believe that. I saw that too. Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. But I mean, and what I hate is, Pete Buttigieg saying like, "Oh, this is normal, this is good." Like he can't be serious, man. I never seen this in my life.
Yeah, like how is that normal? Like it never even came close to anything like this, other than like the Great Depression, which was like in the 20s.
Yeah, I'm damn near 50 years old. I never seen this. This is great. This is new ground for me. So I you can't be like I can't. They can't be like they can't. It's incomparable. I never seen any. No matter Republican or Democrat, this has never happened, and they can't just blame it on this quote unquote. They're gonna blame everything on this scamdemic and the people that haven't got the punch yet. But that's not a valid. You can't really blame it. If it was a war, you would be able to get supplies to your front. They need food. They have something to eat. So even if you have a world issue, the truck still got to move. The cargo still got to get places. This is ridiculous. They're doing this on purpose, man. They have to.
They have to. What do you think they're trying to do? Or with the unjabbed, do you think they're going to come after us?
No, I think in the United States, I guess they're going to use peer pressure. They're going to just keep trying to keep peer pressuring people, I guess. You see in other countries like Australia where they have actual camps and stuff like that. But I think this is just another thing. Like if they can get the media to successfully blame people for who haven't got the punch to this is their fault too, and stuff like this is why we can't get back to normal is the people like that. I think they're just going to try to continually do that blame game for a while in the United States. Other places is different, but I think this is how they're trying to do it here.
Or do you believe the numbers? I feel like the numbers are fabricated though.
I just read something. They said now Biden is saying something like 70%. I don't know if he's just talking about the people that just got one of them Jones, but I just read an article. They said it's 50-something%. I think 50% is probably a good number of people that might be more accurate than anything else. It's like, but a lot of people won't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are silent. They don't want to talk about it. There's so
people are lying.
Yeah, and a lot of people are probably lying. But I think about 50% is probably 40 to 50% probably have it.
Yeah, definitely.
But all right, man. Let me get to this. I got somebody else on here, but thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Uncle Hotep.
All right, man. Thanks.
All right, man.
That's T-Map, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you I'm gonna follow people that come through. I appreciate it. Let me talk to my man, Big Daddy Liberty. South African YouTuber. Oh shit! You there, man? Yo.
Hey, hello.
Hello. What's going on, man?
Good. Sorry. It's 3 a.m. here in South Africa, but
Okay.
I had to call in, man. Big fan of your show. Big fan of the Hotep Nation. Shout out to you guys
Okay. Thank you, man.
out in the US. Dude, I'm going to be brief because one thing I can almost guarantee you Americans is this has been a long time coming. Here in South Africa, we had a situation back in July when because we have a state entity that controls all our ports. It claimed it was quote unquote hacked, and because of that, we had a situation much like you guys have now, where the ships are basically mooring outside of the ports, and nothing comes in.
Okay.
And effectively, you start seeing obviously the shortages begin to show up on, the shop counters, where you walk into your shop and you try and pick up your favorite item and it's simply not there. And what I suspect is happening, again, I don't sound too conspiratorial here, but what I suspect is happening is that there is an attempt to further break down, further wear down the psyche of a populace that has gone through already a psychologically pretty stressful thing, i.e. lockdowns. There's definitely an attempt to dribble and distract populaces around the world and further grind them down, because there's nothing more demoralizing than, not being able to enjoy what's quote unquote regular life, right? So on the one hand, lockdowns have eliminated regular life, and even with the promise of things coming back to normal after you're quote unquote jabbed, it seems another block then comes in the way by way of the supply slowdowns. So something's happening here, dude. Something's happening which is profoundly troubling. And I won't go as far as saying, there's some men in a dark room doing this, but I would venture, pardon me, maybe I would put it to you guys, perhaps, if I'm to put on that conspiratorial hat for a second, that there's definitely an attempt to use this supply chain slowdown in conjunction with politicians maybe making the case for, either blaming the unjabbed or arguing that, getting jabbed will get us to finally having, getting back to normal. So I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but I do see some parallels between what we went through as South Africans on this particular issue of the supply chain slowdown and what you guys are going through right now. It's almost a carbon copy. Just the reasons are different. I haven't heard Peter, what's his name? Pete Buttigieg. I haven't heard him sort of say, "Oh, we were hacked also," because that's the excuse we had as South Africans. Last point, which is sort of linked, is it's been really scary to watch you Americans descend down the statist and sort of wannabe socialist rabbit hole that we Africans and us South Africans in particular have sort of been dealing with, in our case, for the last 27 years. We're governed by the African National Congress, the ANC, of Nelson Mandela fame, and they're nothing but actual just red in tooth and claw commies with a nice smiley face that the rest of the world sees and goes, "Oh, look at those cute South Africans. They have those really nice leaders, and look at how it's become a rainbow nation and all that trash." But you guys don't look further enough. You guys don't look further enough to see beyond the curtain and realize that these people are commies, and they're pushing this nonsense onto us and have been pushing this nonsense of a race-based socialism for the past 27 years, and it's crippling and killing our society here. So it's been very concerning to watch your politicians, especially the Democrats, adopt this nonsense as if it is, I don't even know what word to use, but it's very worrying to see you guys, because I'm beginning to see it in the outcomes, right? So these commies like to be judged by their intentions. The intentions always are, "Oh, we'll create a wonderful society, everybody will be equal, the poor will be uplifted because of all the welfare programs and all that nonsense." That's the intentions, and they want to be judged by their intentions. But the outcomes are always very different. The outcomes always tell the story of what's really happening, which is a decline in the quality of life of the ordinary person, a move away from family society,
societies to becoming more state-centric societies, societies controlled by politicians and not the family or the individual, really. And of course, mass poverty growing, which is then blamed on other things. Often, in our case, South Africa, it's blamed on whites. So it's worrying and almost weird, a weird deja vu to see Americans go through the same thing.
Yeah, man. Great call. But you're right. It's almost the same. It's getting more. It wasn't always used to be like this, but since you being in South Africa, you probably seen this. You've seen this for years, and now I think we're just starting to see this. This race based everything, and they act like they're acting for good, but it ended up being terrible consequences. Let me just ask you this real quick, and I follow this guy. Some people in the YouTube chat. I followed. How do I say your name? Chalet. Oh, he just muted himself. But I followed him for a good while. He's a good person to follow on Twitter. But it's troubling. That these supply chain issues. It wouldn't shock me if they say, "Hey, let's practice this down South Africa. Let's see what happens," and then 8 months later or so, let's implement it in the United States. They're probably, he won't say they're people behind the door, but I'ma say it's the people behind the mask and people behind the curtain and stuff like that. But hey, Big Daddy Liberty, thanks for coming through. I greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna move on to Karsten real quick, and I was trying to find some. I forgot. Here's this was back in July. Apparently, there's a complete supply chain collapse in South Africa. Farmers are dumping thousands of liters of milk, food, shelves are bare because of preppers, and the shelves cannot be restocked. Now, this is the thing. Our preppers are they gonna just gas being stolen from gas stations? I don't know. Will it get this bad here? I don't know. But the preppers might start going crazy again. Remember we couldn't find any toilet paper. We couldn't find any type of cleaning supplies and stuff like that. Remember that? That wasn't too long ago. That was just the other day. You know what I mean? Let me go to Karsten real quick.
What up, Unc?
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. Got my toilet paper.
You got your toilet paper? Yo, you ready? You ready then?
Oh man, I just gotta find some more ammo, man, and some freeze dried foods. That's it.
Yeah, freeze dried food is good. I remember I was in the and when I was in the Air Force, we used to make MREs, and they had some like freeze dried peaches and shit like that. We had to eat.
Man, somebody was telling me that Walmart started selling MREs.
I think I've heard that before, that you can buy MREs like in one of these chain stores.
Yeah, but the civilian joints, and apparently there's like more than normal.
Oh, really?
If there is such thing as normal.
Oh, we got designer MREs? Is that what they're saying?
It's like it tastes better than the military joints.
Okay.
It comes in like in a clear package, and it's got like a bunch of stuff in it too. Not probably not as calorie dense as the
right.
The Air Army, all the DoD stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, what's on your mind this week, man?
Man, what's not, man? I'm seeing the protests and all that stuff, man. I'm just like, yo, what happened to America?
I don't know, man.
Where's your spirit? I'm like, you got cats in New York like marching.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man. But I guess a couple injunctions came down I was talking to somebody who was worried about the jab joint. They're like, hey, you think it's gonna happen really quick? I'm like, nah, man, 8 to 9 months, and that's the quickest. But before it works itself through the courts, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, oh man, what am I gonna do? I don't know, man. I'm like, yo, man, I don't know, man. I got my plan. I'm just telling you.
Okay, what's your come on, man? Spill your guts. Give us your plan, man. Give us a.
I'm not telling anybody a plan because the powers that be like to put roadblocks up. Man.
Okay, gotcha.
It's gonna make my my stuff a little bit more difficult.
Okay,
but I got a couple things in the works, whatever, man.
Okay,
I'm just like, hey, whatever.
Like, are you seriously, are you prepping? Are you just
So I was doing like some bug out bags and stuff like that anyway, just in case I had the boogie. So I got like the little water filtration kit. I'm about to buy another one. The one I got is like the straws.
Okay.
I was gonna put that in my car anyway. First aid kits. But I may go to like 3 to 6 months supplies of like the freeze dried joints.
Okay, where's the best place to get freeze dried food though?
Man, I couldn't tell you, man, because like some of the joints are already having shortages now.
Okay.
One of the larger ones, I can't even remember, man, the name of it, but I found out about through Tim Pool a while ago.
Okay.
He made that announcement this past week. And then when I started looking around, I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to really get this stuff, man. Like this ammo, because I was looking for some ammo anyway.
Okay. Man, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm debating whether I should get some food or not. And the water thing is like. Is that the stuff that like a big, you can put a thing outside and it just collects the water? Is that what you're talking about? Water filter thing?
No, the one I got is the straw. So you can like drink from certain, and it's got the charcoals or whatever. Whatever you use for filtration.
Yeah.
So like you put it in there, and then there's another one where you put it in a jug and you pour it out, and it filters like that.
Okay.
They got the pump one too. The pump one's like a little bit more expensive.
Okay. All right.
It looks like one of them fish tank joints. You know what I'm saying? You used to have that little thing on it. You pump it with your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is now I gotta decide whether I gotta beef up the food joint or not. I don't know, man. It's just like, they're acting like this is going to be a real bad cold season or something like that. I don't know if you've been seeing any of that writing, but
I just assumed that it's going to be a little bit worse with everything going on.
Okay,
because with the stresses and all that too. So like I even got down. I meant to do it anyway, but the survivalist type books.
Yeah.
So like whatever you can get in your garden, like herbs, stuff like that, grows wild. I got like one of them books. I got a emergency joint. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't going through like my little emergency care stuff in a while. It's been about a year since I went through the first aid certification. But we didn't go too heavy.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's a good way to be ready anyway. You should always have all your first aid kits and stuff like that all the way good anyway. So this is like, not saying to tell everybody to go ahead and do it, but it might be a good exercise anyway. You know what I mean? Just to be ready. If you always ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, 100%. And all the ladies out there too. You know what I'm saying? Making sure they know how to use a pepper spray. Because I was talking to an instructor years ago, and he said a majority of the women, they try to deploy their stuff and they never did it before, and they end up like deploying it on themselves.
Right.
One reason why I bring that up is because like in Buckhead near Atlanta, I just saw like a little report. A lady, dude, like ran up in her house, like, he invited himself in because he pretended to be like a florist delivering flowers.
Yeah.
And he goes in and then like hits her with the taser.
Mm-hmm.
And I like, luckily nothing happened because I guess she got loose or whatever, and then went upstairs to get her carry weapon. But I was like, man, you gotta keep that thing on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, but thanks for coming through, man. I greatly appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. Carson, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta follow Carson. That just reminds me, in Philly, Big Daddy, I'm gonna get back to you. Riders watched as a woman was, assaulted on a SEPTA train, but no one called 911. It may have stopped sooner if a rider called 911. 35-year-old man in Pennsylvania, Fista Nigoy, according to Upper Darby, but yeah, as times get harder, look at this child. Wait, hold on. This is this clown right here, man. What type of last name is Nagoy for a shine? Like I'm confused about that. But that's the shine. I just say that I have to bring this up. This is a terrible story, but we're going to start seeing worse and worse stuff like this. When society starts breaking down, times start getting hard. I think I was just thinking about the other day, and I think I might have said it on one of my streams. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I stream like twice a day at least. They're gonna bring crime's gonna be back to the 80s, man. You know what I mean? When times get hard, crime, hard times. Y'all remember the song? You might not remember it. I'm an old ass man, so I know that. But hard times. There was a song called "Hard Times." They talk about what happens during hard times, man. We might have crime back to the 80s, man. That's gonna be sick. It's gonna be devastating. Let me see what Big Daddy has to say. I think we requested back. I think I kind of cut him off. He might have had issues or something like that. Big Daddy, you back on, man. You there? Or did you hit it by mistake? KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane are having a versus battle. I'm going to have to catch up on that, man. But anyway, let me see what No Justice for Free won. No Justice. You there? Yo.
Yes, sir. What's going on, Uncle Hotep? I appreciate you allowing me up in your space.
Oh, no problem, man.
Yeah, I've been in a few.
Okay.
We don't agree on everything, but definitely there are many things you say that I definitely agree with.
Okay.
Like, right now, if we're just being honest, Republicans, Democrats, none of them care about the masses.
No.
All that's going on up top is just it's a power struggle amongst the elites. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And if you look at the wealth gap, which I like to call the power gap, the trajectory is not headed in our direction. And that's not a good thing. So I'm with you. I strongly support the Second Amendment. I highly encourage, every man, woman, or child who's old enough and who's responsible enough to go out, get a weapon, learn how to use it properly, to defend yourself and be ready. In my community, we do have strategically placed, a handful of what we call community gardens, in case something goes down. We use it now too. But no, I'm with you. Relatively speaking, we are not that far, as crazy as this may sound, if we keep headed in this direction, from being very similar to the very countries which we talk about in a negative way.
Yeah.
And I'm saying relatively speaking. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. But if we keep heading in this direction, we're not too far away, because the masses right now are at the bottom of the barrel. There is no in-between that's holding this country together.
Yeah. There isn't. You know, I think usually it used to have things to bring the country together as like wars or conflicts, but if there's none that's going on, you know, people are, it's going to be every man for himself and stuff like that. You know, I don't know. It's just like, you know, it's kind of stressful. I'm a parent, and, you know, I want the best for my kids, and, you know, I got to teach them like, yo, man, it's real out here sometimes, you know, it's just like, it's another thing you have to worry about. But, you know, this is going down paths I've never seen us going down, you know, and you're right. We're going to be like you know how people, Venezuela and Cuba and all these other, these socialist countries running out of food and stuff. Now look at us. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, you know, and I won't, you know, talk about what we do specifically, because I'm going to respect your space, but just in general, that's why, you know, fortunately and unfortunately, you know, we have to get off of these old grandiose ideas of storming the Capitol and dragging folks out of tanks, and just be more realistic, and just be concerned about our individual selves, our families, and our local communities.
Right.
I think if we focus on that, then we will be, you know, somewhat prepared, you know, if it continues to go to go down this road. And, you know, I've always said that, and I think you'll agree with this, Uncle Hotep, that we in this country are definitely being rocked to sleep with materialism and entertainment.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, in the background, I always use the analogy, if you've seen that video by Childish Gambino, This Is America. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So, you know, in the foreground, he's dancing, entertaining white folks, having a good old time, talking about making money, and everything is great. But then in the background, there's nothing but chaos, destruction, division, and it's really not. It's a lot worse than even what we think it is. And you know, I always try to be optimistic. Things are going to turn around for all people, but for me, I can only be concerned about my own community here and Stop 6 first, and everyone else have to fend for themselves. I mean, that sounds bad, but I think that's the most intelligent approach that all individuals, families, and communities can take right now, because it's easier to manage that way.
I'm so glad you said that. You know, because, you know, I don't know, I run a YouTube channel, you know, and I get to see a lot of people's ideas and thoughts and stuff like that. And some people like are really overboard of what we should do and stuff like that, you know, but the reality is we have to do what's best for us first, and what's best for our family first, you know, what's best for our neighborhoods first. You know, a lot of people like talking about, you know, the capital thing and doing this and doing that. And, you know, is there going to be civil war? You know what I mean? We got to do one step at a time. You can't get ahead of yourselves, man. You got to take care of your family first. You got to take care of your neighborhood first, you know, and I try to convey, sometimes I'm not a good job. I don't do a good job of what I mean to convey, but what you just said is what I've been trying to mean, is what I've been meaning to convey to a lot of people that listen to my channel. It's like, yo, a lot of this stuff, like, all right, yeah, I mean, okay, but we got to take care of ourselves first, you know, and that's the bottom line, you know. Take care of your household first, you know. Y'all talk about saving America and stuff like that. And hey, man, I understand what some of y'all feel, but a lot of when it gets down to it, protect yourself at all times, protect your family at all times. That should be your motto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know, and I don't want to take up too much of your space, because I know you have other folks wanting to get up, but you kind of alluded to it earlier, or you have. I've been on your YouTube channel a couple of times, and it's good stuff. This the other thing too. It doesn't matter if the heart condition of our nation is bad. It don't matter whether it's a capitalistic system, a socialistic system, fascism, communism, Xism. None of it's going to work because those are just structures, right? And they'll all, if the heart condition is bad, in some way, form, or fashion, that structure is going to be manipulated to the extreme and be weaponized. And so for us, I do, I'm all about Black Power first, but I say power to all people,
right?
Because it's the common folks, and that sounds cliche, but it is true. But it's the common folks right now that are suffering.
Yeah.
So anyway, I appreciate you having me up, but yeah, we can't continue to let ourselves, be, the woke mob is asleep and Trump Nation's high on a lie. So we really got to wake up. That's different from being woke.
Gotcha. Hey man, thanks for coming through, man. Greatly appreciate your comments, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna give you a follow, man. Thank you. I think let me see. VTech Club, man. Who the hell is VTech? Negro of the Northeast. You.
Hey, what's up?
Not much, man. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, pleasure to speak to you.
Okay.
I definitely agree with you and Justice as far as like you got to take care of yourself. If you think about it, taking care of yourself is saving America.
Yeah.
It's too much stress on the centralized system to be trying to take care of everybody. If everybody does their own part, I think it's easier on the system as a whole.
Right. Yeah, you got that right, man. We got to take care of ourselves first, man. That's the bottom line.
And the crazy thing is, I don't understand how people like fall for centralized government. Period. It's like, how can somebody who probably never been to your state, doesn't live in your neighborhood, dictate to you what's good for you and your area? That's insane. It's like you're not even from here. You don't know what our region needs. You don't know what these certain people need. But for some reason, it's like, oh yeah, we can have this one-size-fit-all model. There's no way that can work.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like different areas of the country have different needs and everything. Like a family in Pennsylvania has a different need than one in California or Connecticut or Florida. It's just, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because it's funny you say Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut,
okay,
and I do going back to the supply chain stuff. I do printed circuit board layout as a job, and we can't get parts for nothing. Like, we'll have boards laid out, and then we'll get calls from purchasing. Oh, we can't get this part. We got to re-engineer this board or whatever. Like, it's absolutely insane. And this happens from day to day. Supply either being available or not available. It just switches overnight. It's crazy.
Yeah, I never. This is a first for me. I'm sure you never seen it like this before, but this is crazy, and it's only really the beginning. It might get worse in a couple months.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the thing that scares me too is like, okay, you got the supply chain going on, and then you got everybody working from home, which is, depending on who you are, is a gift or a curse. I work from home. I absolutely hate it, but I'm not getting a jab, and I can't go in the building. Like, okay, I had to go to work a couple weeks ago for training, right?
Right.
So, and they said, if you are vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. If you're not vaccinated, then you got to wear a mask, right? Yeah. So I stroll on in there not wearing a mask. Nobody said anything. Nobody asked me either, right? So picture you're in a room with like 30 people. 28 people don't have masks on, and there's 2 people in there sitting there with masks on. You know how crazy that looks?
Yeah.
Like they're just some diseased spread. It's like, no, these are people. Like, I felt bad for the 2 dudes that were just sitting with masks on. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know. And they just went along with it. But like, as far as like the working from home and stuff like that, it's like, okay, you got the supply issue, and then I'm sure you saw the what's his name, Klaus Schwab, talking about the new cyber pandemic. My thing is, I feel like that's the setup. You can get these people to work from home, right? And then say, okay, let's pretend I live in Connecticut, right? I moved to Alabama or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they cut the internet down.
Right.
You know what I mean? That right there will cripple the economy because now you're cutting people's source of income off.
Right.
If they're working from home, yeah, okay, whatever, they're working. What happens when you have no internet? You work from home. Then you're screwed.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of foreshadowing, talking about, food and stuff not being available. And I always, in the past, they always said these things, listen to Alex Jones and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, I love Alex, but it's never as bad as he says it is, right? For the most part. But then it's when is that one time where it's really going to be as bad as they say it is? It is. It's true. It's better. You're better off preparing than
right.
So that way you don't have to prepare afterward. But it's who knows what's going to happen? You never know.
Yeah, because but might be that one time that you don't prepare and then it's real. Then you'll be like, oh shoot, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's better safe than sorry is always a good motto. You know what I mean?
For sure. But yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate it. I ain't gonna take up any more of your time on.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Later.
I'm gonna go to Let's Go, then Let's Go JBZ. Then I'll go to King Solomon next. You there?
Yeah, I'm in. This is JR, man. I just have the little sign up just for Twitter. But
okay.
Yeah, I was just you talking about this whole thing with what's going on with freedoms pretty much being at risk around here in this country, and I kind of go into, I guess, that quote from Ben Franklin: "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." It kind of seems like what's going on right now is kind of like the repeat of what ended up happening, where we ended up getting the Patriot Act 20 years ago. And all of this stuff is coming at us down the pipe, but we're not even, as a whole, it's we're not noticing it, that a few freedoms are getting taken bit by bit by bit until it's we don't realize that we don't really have that much freedoms no more. You see? So it's when are we going to put a stop to it or put a halt to it before it gets out of line? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Oh my gosh. What do you think about our country's future, I guess? Are you positive about it, or are you negative about it? Does it, can America rebound? What do you think?
Well, after what has been going on over the past year and a half, I'm kind of pessimistic because I know that, you mentioned the term woke, right?
Right.
But over the past year and a half, year plus, a lot of those quote unquote woke folks seems like they're going against what they really should be for. So when I seen that over the course of the past 18 months, I'm like, man, this ain't looking good, cuz.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's looking good. I don't know. But what? Another thing that scares me, usually sometimes when countries go down a bad turn like this, the way out is war. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I hope that don't go down. You know what I mean?
I hope it don't either, but sometimes it kind of gets to that level because didn't they say sometimes the price of freedom is death? So,
yeah.
Yeah. It gotta be that way. Then hey, what's up? either you down for it or you not. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah. Hey man, I got a few people that lined up. I want to get to them all before I get out of here. But thanks for coming through. I appreciate it.
All right, no doubt.
All right, man. I think Miles. I'm gonna go to Miles, and then I'm gonna go to Solomon. Miles, you're live, Uncle Hotep Factor. Miles, you there?
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're live, man. Go ahead.
Okay, bet, man. Hey, listen, man, I want to appreciate you for having me up here, first of all, for allowing me in your space to speak. I want to say, like, I agree, like, you know what I'm saying, with what you guys are saying, or what you were saying earlier, like, to the extent of we forever need to protect our family. Our family's protection is key. I think at the same time, like, although we need to focus, you know what I'm saying, on our households and ourselves, we also need to understand that we need to focus on what's happening in the world. We need to focus on what's happening in the day-to-day, and whether it's, you know what I'm saying, whether it's in our cities, in our local areas, or whether it's in the federal, because at the end of the day, we still do live in representative democracy. And the very tools that they have used, and the brother before me brought up how this is so reminiscent to how the Patriot Act came to be. This is totally the case, but it's all with like the okay from a citizenry that okays it. Citizens, they know for sure they have to have our okay. That's the point of the inundation of propaganda, of the inundation of, you know, focus on TikToks or whatever, anything to take your face or your mind off of what they have going on. And then it's easy to just chalk it up to, no, okay, cool, they got it, whatever. We elect them, whatever, they got it. But I mean, we're giving them the guns, the very same guns, theoretically that they're using against us. And it literally only changes through vote. I think in my whole life, I'm sorry, and not to go long, but I think my whole life I listened to people talk about how politics weren't anything because people were elected or were selected and not elected. And I never was a political person. I'm from North Philly. I'm not. I was never in any way political. But then, when I was in college, and in 2015, when Donald Trump announced he was running, to watch how that all unfolded, okay, and to watch the fact that he still rose his hand and was the president of the United States, you can't. Nobody selected him. All the power beings, all the power. This is the man that he was where he was at and maintained where he was at, and has the base that he still currently has out of office because people woke up to politics. And no matter whether you like him or not, whether you vote for a Democrat, I personally could care less because both of them.
You still there? Test. Oh, I think your mic went out, bro. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Let me go to King Solomon, the wise one.
What's going on?
Yo.
Yes, so I got a couple of things. One, to the brothers who were like, how can we get this thing back as far as our rights? Well, the citizenry, especially in a place like the United States, if they decide to have a form of uprising, are undefeated. Now, that's if that were ever to happen, right? We're talking hypothetical. I do not need a 3-letter agency coming to my house.
Okay.
Now, having said that, some people do die, things of that nature, right?
Right.
So that's where I'm at on that end because I'm just watching the different forces, whether you're talking about the punch, whether you're talking about going through people's bank accounts for over $500 or $400, but people can still run free and molest kids. At some point in time, all that stuff has to come to a head, right?
Yeah.
Now, will it come to a head in our lifetime? I don't know. Will it come to a head next year? The way stuff is going, I can't. I don't know. Okay. And another comment. Why is it when I talk to people who took the punch, they're surprised at people who died after taking the punch, and they don't associate the blood clot that the person had with the punch? Could you please answer that?
Well, it's because some people are narrow-minded. You know what I mean? Like if they think and they don't understand that everybody's body is different. So if they think that they took the vacation and it was fine and worked fine, then it should work fine for everybody. You know, they might have felt bad for a couple days. You know, they're not open-minded enough to think that, you know, some people might have had, like, if you look at the list of the side effects, it's a long list. It's a decent list of stuff that can happen. And even if you just go to the Reddit, to the Modelo vacation, it tells a whole bunch of people. They're saying some people have pain in their arm for like 2-3 months afterwards, you know? So you have to think, if you be a rational thinker, and like I think sometimes Americans aren't rational thinkers. If you think rationally, some people are going to have worse effects than others. And if some people have worse effects than others, some people are going to go out bad because of that. It's just simple a thought process to me. But some people think because they had the vacation and it went well for them, they think it's going to go well for everybody.
And bro, no bullshit. Literally on my Facebook, I have one family member who says, "Hey, if you guys are waiting because you guys think you're going to be infertile, I took it and now my wife's pregnant." The very next day, I get a text from a friend who says, you know, so-and-so just died, which is his brother. He had 3 strokes since September, and he went on the vacation.
Right.
So it's like, that's how extreme this has become.
Right.
It's so bad. Like, okay, so at my job, I was talking to this one girl. She's a computer girl. And I'm looking through my emails, and I'm seeing JetBlue has like all these $29 flights.
Mm-hmm.
And I never seen, because JetBlue, although they're a cheaper carrier, they're still nice enough. It's not like Frontier or some, you know. So I'm like, wow, I didn't know. Then she was like, "Oh yeah, that's because their idiot pilots don't want to take the jet." So I'm like, okay, well, you know, I don't know what their situation is. Everybody has a different situation. But let's just say hypothetically, they had a coworker who got a blood clot in midair. Well, you can't say that that's because of the jet.
Vacation.
You know, and then she went through this whole process of how something else could be wrong with the person, and these people need to stop associating a blood clot with the vacation.
Yeah. They just people want to be right. They don't want to have, they like, it also, you know what, I'm going to just tell a story about, it's about like that day in September, many, many years ago, a couple decades ago. People they want to believe the official government version, because if you don't believe that, then something's really, really went bad. It was something really, really evil happened that day besides what we just saw. You know, they don't want to admit that some of these elites and some of the people in power aren't in the common person's best interest. They don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe that at all. I mean, I remember I told a guy because I was working at this job and we were discussing that day in September when it happened and stuff like that. And afterwards, and I told him, I was like, man, I believe it was like remote control and all that. And he was like, yeah, but you know, the government, like, and then we got to the point, and I'm like, well, if that didn't happen in the Iraq War, it never happens, right? And he could agree with that. But then the point was, he couldn't agree. He couldn't wrap his head around that the government would actually sacrifice some of its citizens. And I'm like, me being a black American, he was white. I don't like to bring race and everything, but me being a black American, I can easily see where a government will be like, not care. Yeah.
So it's even worse for the white folks, because if you study slavery and what happened to the white folks during slavery, in some cases, depending on the state, it was a lot worse for them.
Yeah.
So if you study eugenics, it was like, okay, the African slaves are off limits because they're worth a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go kill the white trash. And as a matter of fact, there's a book out there called White Trash, where it goes into a lot of the stuff I'm talking about the eugenics plans and things of that nature. So, especially if he's Scott-Irish and he's playing dumb, he doesn't know his history.
Yeah. 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 You're right about that. Hey, King Solomon, thanks for coming through. Everybody Hotep and Bill. Everybody go follow him. Following all speakers. Let me go to this Panther Bull, the Chusta. The Chusta, you're live on Uncle Hotep Factor. This will be my last one, I believe. Yeah, I gotta get out here. It's 10 o'clock. I'm old. But we're having some nice discussions tonight, actually. The Chusta, come on in, man. Pause. You there?
Okay. Yes, here I am. Thanks, Uncle. Appreciate you using the platform to let people voice their opinions and topics on the matter.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go ahead and say a little bit about the supply chain.
Okay.
And my whole take is this. We can attribute it very easily to the necessity of the jab. We can attribute all this to the strikes that are going on right now.
Yeah.
And all this stuff that's going on is basically a byproduct of capitalism. This is a byproduct of when capitalism fails and the system is imploding upon itself. And there are various methods we can use to solve it. However, mainstream media isn't going to paint the actual narrative that needs to be painted. And it's up to us as the people. I like what you're saying about building community and different things like that. And I don't want to go off topic here, but that's really a form of socialism when you think about it. Dealing with yourself, dealing with your community, not really worried about the outside individuals of the society that you live in. Mm-hmm. And I think once we get to a point of that, we as a people, not to bring race into it, but the main people who are suffering are people who make less than, $50,000-$60,000 a year. And the majority of that are going to be blacks and Hispanics here in the United States. So when we really look at the supply chain and who it's hurting, it really all boils down to really the necessity of either taking the jab or not taking the jab. And that's really where the whole thing is coming in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, do you feel like they're using that as an excuse? You're saying that, so you're saying that this is just capitalism blowing up, right? But they're trying to make it out as, I don't think, I really don't think that's the case. I kind of think, they're trying to use this. They're doing this purposely, cause another, like they ask you to get it, you didn't get it. Now they're asking your employer to make you get it, and some employers are conceding and some aren't. Now they're trying to do peer pressure. In the beginning of the show, I talked about, the Reddit H. Herman Cain Award. They're trying to shame you into getting it. Now they're going to try, let's cause a catastrophe. Like if some of you are woke enough to believe that this is a man-made thing. So if this could be a man-made thing, to think that, this supply chain issue could be done purposely, to cause more turmoil, to add more fuel to the fire. And, so we can start blaming each other. We're going to start pointing fingers. We never point the fingers at the people at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We point it at our neighbors. Now we're pointing at the people that don't have, the same medicine as you, and I think that's kind of wrong. I don't think, I just don't think, my man from South Africa said, he sees a lot of similarities from the supply chain issues they had down there to what we're about to see now. Go ahead. You there? You still there?
Yes, sir. The last thing I will add, once they start mandating something and suppressing any outside opinions, that's basically a form of fascism. Our government has turned into a fascist government, and it's all basically around the jab or not jab.
Yeah. But hey, thanks for coming through. I'm going to take one more call, and I'm going to have to get out of here. I appreciate it. DeChusta. Michael Anthony Carter, writer, editor, critiquing books. Let's see what he has to say real quick. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, not much.
Hey, appreciate you doing this. I know you were saying that you need to get off, so I'll keep it quick. When I go back, and just as long as I just been around, I'm looking at like Papa Bush, Clinton, Baby Bush, then we go to Obama, then we go to Trump. So Trump tells everybody who's like pretty much divided, he keeps saying fake news, fake news, fake news. So everybody's looking at the news. So we got mainstream, everybody's talking about deep state and everything. But like we see the shift of power going into like big tech. So we see how social media messed with everything too. And all this stuff, if you want, anybody can verify in like 5 minutes on any sort of social media, really. But then Big Pharma is also like in control, so we're seeing that. So I just watched the money funnel up to big defense, and I'm a big I just try to bring the awareness on like BlackRock, Vanguard. The money gets funneled up there, and the big shifts right now are like in the economy because of the U.S. dollar and all that stuff. So I don't really know about the Bitcoin thing. I think it's 50-50. It could go to $1 trillion or it could go to zero. But it's like giving people a way out because they're looking for a solution.
Right.
And you get things like GameStop and AMC, and it brings people's awareness to certain things like that in the stock market. Then you got all these moon boys talking about Bitcoin. And I'm not against any of that. I'm just saying, if you do a little research on Ponzi, a lot of these guys that want to make money, they buy it when it's low, and then whenever it gets high, they come out there with a megaphone and start telling everybody to get in and get in. So, but it's giving people like a way out, like the metaverse and all this stuff. So just watch out. And a lot of people are putting their money into gold. So if you can see the crash coming, it's almost too obvious to put your money in precious metals and gold and silver because we've seen crashes before. So if Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, it's perfect because it's giving people a way out of U.S. dollar and it's digital gold and all that stuff. But I'm just trying to keep people aware of like all the different variables involved, because when you watch the money flow, it's going up in defense. And if the cryptocurrency is for real, they're trying to get control over that shit. That's what's happening. Big tech, they're trying to get control over that shit if it's really decentralized and all that. But I appreciate the time, man. All right, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks. Thanks everybody coming through. I guess I don't know if this versus is still coming through. But anyway, I was gonna catch that. But had a nice discussion. And this is what it's about, keep your head up, learn new things. I try to learn something from people every day. And a lot of the times I stream, I try to learn from the people that come in the room and stuff like that. So I try to learn stuff just like y'all try to learn from me. So I'm grateful to have y'all here. I'm grateful to listen to y'all talk and give your ideas about what's going on. When Jabari Allen after elections, it's November. It's going to be a dark winter, according to intel he got from government. So be on the lookout for that. I will say we do. If you want to learn more from us, I'm a part of the greatest podcast of all time. Hotep's Been Told You every Thursday at 8 o'clock on Hotep Jesus' channel. If you don't want to watch it live, you can listen to on Apple or whatever podcast medium you use to listen to. Also, we have a Patreon. We do an extra show. You can join Hoteps Been Told Your Patreon. And Big Dad Liberty asked me, can I be on the show? I remember Big Dad Liberty asked me a while back to be on the show. But yeah, let's make that happen. I gotta spread out into South Africa, man. My South African connect. So yeah, I will gladly be on your show. But anyway, thank you all for listening. I'll talk to y'all later. If I don't talk to you, I'll talk to some of y'all tomorrow on my stream. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. I stream at least 2-3 times a day, and I usually do a stream taking my kids to work and stuff like that. So hope to see y'all then. If not, see y'all Thursday. If not, I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.